Hello, welcome back to Dance's English Grammar. Today we're going to look into present simple tense. Well, what do I mean when I say simple present tense? It describes habits, unchanging situations, general truth, and fixed arrangements. When we talk about simple present tense, we need to know that there are three different forms of sentence structure. One, affirmative sentences. Two, negative. Three, interrogative sentence. Under interrogative sentences, you have two types. One is yes or no type and the other one is WH type questions. So let's look into the structure of the affirmative sentence. It will have a subject followed by a verb, and that verb, there'll be a change made to the verb. You will add s or es followed by the object. The negative sentence structure will be subject followed by does not or do not and a base form of the verb followed by the object. The interrogative sentence structure will begin with do or does followed by subject, base form of the verb, object and a question mark. Now there are few rules we need to follow. Rules for an affirmative sentence. You are not supposed to use a helping verb. And when you are using am, is or are in your affirmative sentence, do not use do or does. Instead, you have to add s or es to the main verb. Obviously, you will have a confusion. When do I know or how do I know that I need to add s or es? Or let me tell you, when the subject is he, she or it, or if it's going to be a singular countable noun, then you will add s or es. Likewise, that is s or es you can add. Now, to be more specific, you will add es to the main verb if the word ends with one of these. Example, go will become goes, rush will become rushes. And the third point which I would like to share here is you will add es to the main verb if there is a vowel before y. I hope I've got my point clear. Now let's look into this affirmative sentence structure. So the sentence structure is you have a subject, verb, object and other words. And when I say verb, I always mean the base form of the verb. Or helping verbs, it's do or does. She drives a bus. Now subject is she, verb is drives and the object is bus. Now affirmative sentence structure for the verb be. Subject followed by am or is or are and a noun and an adjective. Now if I'm going to say he is a teacher, he is a subject, is the be form of verb and noun is a teacher. Now once again, there are rules if you're going to frame a negative sentence. You have to use do or does. But now the confusion is when do I use it? You have to use do when the subject is plural and or you can say when either it will be plural subject or if it's going to be I. And does you will use only for a singular subject. You have to use not after am, is or are. So these are two things you need to remember. What you should not do when you are writing a negative sentence. You should never add yes or es to the main verb. Now, what is the structure of a negative sentence? Subject followed by do or does, followed by not, and then the base form of a verb and this object. Now, look at this picture. Let's frame a sentence. These dogs do not play on the road. Begins with a subject followed by do, that followed by not and a base form of verb object. Now negative sentence with a be form of verb. What is the structure? This is not a chair. Let's look at the example. This is the subject, is followed by not and the noun. Well, I was talking to you about interrogative sentences, and I've already told you that there are two types. One is yes or no and the other one is WH. Now, yes or no type structure will be, you will have to begin with do or does, that followed by a subject and then a base form of the verb, object and other words. And there are two pictures and we're going to frame two sentences. The first one, does it rain here? Your answer will be yes, it rains, or you will say no, it does not rain. So when you frame a question with S or no type, you have to begin with does or do, followed by subject and the base form of the verb. Now the next picture. Do we open the windows? You begin with do, followed by the subject we, and the base form of the verb open, followed by the object, and then obviously a question mark. Now WH type question. Begin with a question word, followed by do or does, subject, base form of the verb, object and other words. Let's look at this picture. How does he swim in the river? So let's check whether it falls into the structure. Question word is how. Do or does, I've made use of does. Subject word is he. Base form of the verb swim and the other words in the river. So finally, you need to remember. You have to use adverbs of frequency in simple present tense, sometimes, always, or never. So these are few things that you have to remember. You will use adverbs of frequency. Now, when you are using adverbs of frequency, that is, if never is used in a sentence, remember, you will not make use of do or does. So the structure will be subject plus never plus base form of verb, object and other words. It's like I never scold my child. So you will never use do or does. A tense chart is made for your reference. Now, last of all, I would like to tell you, or I would like to remind you that simple present tense is not used to express actions happening now. This is where people commit a mistake. It is not something to express an action that is happening now. Am I clear? So simple present tense is not used to express actions happening now. If you're going to express actions happening now, it becomes continuous. Therefore, remember, the simple present tense is not used to express actions happening now. Hope you have understood. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Thank you.